squish and flick. Sorry, couldn't help myself there. A couple of weeks ago, G from Book Roast announced the 2019 O.W.L.S Magical Readathon. This was a readathon she started last year. I didn't actually get to participate in it last year because I found out about it too late and I was just not in the right space to do it. It is a month-long readathon and it is based on the ordinary wizarding levels from the Harry Potter series. G puts a lot of effort into this and this year she's included so much more detail, but the idea is to try and read as many books for different challenges so that later in the year you can take your newts, your nastily exhausting wizarding tests, I think, from memory. I'm probably horribly wrong and off track on there, but anyway, you have to complete various challenges in the O.W.L.S in order to participate in the newts. So I've assigned books to all of the different prompt challenges. I will talk about them as I go through. This year, the element that she has added is that she has a career guide, which I haven't printed out yet, but I am hoping to and have a look at it, where if you actually want to go into a particular wizarding career, you can go through the list and work out which O.W.L.S and which newts you need to take in order to achieve that career. Okay, for Ancient Runes, your challenge is to read a retelling. I'm going to be rereading A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This is going to count as my reread for April. It is a loose Beauty and the Beast retelling and I haven't read it for a while, but I've been planning to reread the series this year. For Arithmancy, the challenge is to read a book by more than one author. For that, I'm going to read Persepolis Rising by James S. A. Corey. James S. A. Corey is the pen name of two separate authors who write the Expanse series. This is book 7 and the last one that I own that I haven't read, so I would like to finish this in April. For Astronomy, your challenge is to read a book with star in the title, and I have two potentials because if I read one of them before the end of March, then I need another option. So potentially I have Morning Star by Pierce Brown if I don't get to it in March. I also have Navigating the Stars by Marie V. Snyder, which is a young adult science fiction book. For Care of Magical Creatures, your challenge is to read a book that has a land animal on the cover. So this is Sky by Ondine Sherman. This is going to be released in April and it has a chicken and either a dingo or a dog on it. Probably a dog, but I'm going to read this. This is a young adult contemporary book that deals with animal cruelty. So I'm very excited to read this. For Charms, the challenge is to read an adult book. So I'm going to finally pick up The Orchidist's Daughter by Karen Biggers, which was sent to me as a review copy from Alill Nunwin. Last year, I did participate in the Charms side readathon, which G hosted, and I finished all 5 challenges. So I can actually start this book 5 days early if I would like to, which may happen. For Defense Against the Dark Arts, the challenge is to read a book with R in the title. For that, I'm going to read Rock Addiction by Nalini Singh, which is an adult contemporary romance book, I think. It's on my Kindle. I didn't have any other books that started with R, so we're going with that one. For Divination, you are to read a book set in the future. For that, I'm going to read Wildcard by Marie Lu. I've been meaning to read this for ages. This is the follow-up to Warcross, and it is set in a futuristic world where virtual reality is a really big business. For Herbology, your challenge is to read a book with a plant on the cover. For that, I'm going to read Lady Helen and the Dark Day's Deceit. There are trees on the cover. They count as plants. For History of Magic, the challenge is to read a book that is 10 years old or more. For that, I'm going to read Blackout by Michael Pryor. This book was published in 2000. Michael Pryor is an Australian author, and I assume that I have read this in the past, but it's sitting on my shelf and I've had it for years and years, clearly. But I thought I better reread it, and it's short, so it will be helpful. I actually don't know what it's about, so we will find out when I read it for the readathon. For Muggle Studies, the challenge is to read a contemporary book, and for that I'm going to read Watch Us Rise by Renee Watson and Ellen Hagen. This is a book all about feminism and girl power, and I'm very much looking forward to picking it up. This is an art copy that I received at the end of last year and I haven't had a chance to read yet, so it's a good opportunity to get to it. Potions is the challenge to read a sequel. For that, I'm going to hopefully reread Legendary by Stephanie Garber because Finale is coming out very, very soon, and I would like to have finished reading Caraval and Legendary before I pick up Finale, just so it's all fresh in my mind. So I'm hoping to get to this. And finally, Transfiguration is the challenge to read either a book with sprayed edges or a book with red on the cover. I have Circle of Shadows by Evelyn Skye, which came in my Fairy Loot box. It does have purple sprayed edges, so that's what I'm using it for. And this will hopefully mean that I get through some of my Fairy Loot books now that I'm subscribed and collecting them. So that is my TBR for the Magical Readathon in April. I will hopefully be reading some other books outside of these, but it will be nice to sort of knock out all of these challenges so that later in the year when the newts are on, I can have a little bit more fun and choose things in slightly different ways. Let me know in the comments if you are participating in the O.W.L.S Magical Readathon, and if you have a TBR video, I'd love to come and check it out. I hope that wherever you are in the world, you're having a wonderful day, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.